Hey there, this is Dan. The weather has not been cooperating, so I'm going to try and do some of this statically for you and explain to you how the throttle bodies and syncing everything works. And this goes for carburetors as well as throttle bodies. The first thing you want to pay attention to is the linkage. Now, what you want to make sure of is when you push on the middle, you want to make sure that they both open at pretty much the same time. And you'll notice if you put just enough pressure to see that it's physically moving, and then check on the other side and make sure that it's moving at the same time. That's a big thing. The next thing you want to do is make sure that it's opening all the way at full throttle. Let's see if I can get... I need a flashlight, I think. Hold on a sec. You want to make sure two things: that when it's at idle, that everything is fully closed, so that you don't have anything like kind of open. And then when it's full throttle, that she's moving straight up and down to the middle. So looks like that's something we got going on here, which is good. Okay, so those are the two things you want to start with. Then once you start the engine, you're going to take your scroll, and at idle, you're going to put it here and see what the number is. It's usually right around between 5 and 7. And honestly, throttle bodies don't matter as much as carburetors. Carburetors, you can actually have bleed screws and you can really adjust it so everything matches perfectly. With the fuel injection, you want them to match at idle, and you probably want to pay attention to what it is. At part throttle, like half throttle, whatever. But you got to be really careful because these things aren't made to be used at high RPM. But you can blip it just and keep an eye on it. If it backfires, it'll damage the gauge. But when you start it up, have it idle. Make the front two match. Generally, all four will not match. And that's on purpose. I mean, you basically have the back cylinders that run a little differently than the front cylinders for cooling reasons. So the back ones, you can play with them if you want, but don't expect them to match. The front ones really should match. And if they match at idle, generally they'll match at part throttle and full throttle. You're not going to be able to gauge it at full throttle. You'll just be able to gauge it at idle and maybe 2,000-3,000 RPM tops. After that, things get a little crazy and it's not going to read accurately anyway. So hopefully that gave you an understanding of the basics. As soon as the weather cooperates a little bit, I will do this for you and have it on video so you can see it. I'll actually make a video for everybody on how to do this, and maybe I'll even find a car. One car comes to mind that has carburetors. He's got I think he has IDFs or IDAs, I forget. I think they're IDFs though. And I'll use his car as a guinea pig and show everybody how to set his, because they're probably in need of setting anyway. And I'll help you with that. So hopefully that helps.